Hey guys, so obviously by the title this is going to be a get ready with me video. I just got out of the shower and I was thinking about what I was going to film and I was like, I haven't done a get ready with me video in a while where I just sit down and do my makeup and you never know what I'm going to talk about. Could be anything. Also, this could be a very interesting video because there is a big thunderstorm on its way. I just checked the radar and it's right on the edge of my area, so it might start like thundering and lightning and flashing, and yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. So I had to put on extra artificial light today to compensate for the fact that it's getting quite dark outside. So yeah, let's just get going. So like I said, I just got out of the shower. My hair's wet, but I'm gonna pin it back anyway. So it doesn't, when you put those clips in, it doesn't really matter whether it's wet or not because it's gonna look funny. But I can't stand trying to blend my makeup and have my hair get in the way. Okay, so the only thing I've applied so far is my Wet n Wild lip treatment. Just my lips were really dry, so I couldn't even wait to turn on the camera to get some moisture on there. Alright, I'm going to take my... Wow, the writing is all worn off on this. This is an It Cosmetics by Ulta brush. And I'm going to take the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and they have multiple colors of this now. This one is sheer. And I'm going to put some of that on. So, are you guys ready for fall? I love summer, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I'm ready for fall because fall is all about change. And with this whole you-know-what situation, the situation that shall be nameless, you know what I'm talking about, I don't know if more changes are coming, if they're going to be for the better or for the worse. I'm thinking because fall is cold and flu season that the situation might actually get worse, because if you combine the C thing with battling colds and flus, we might be in for it, folks. We might be in for it. I hope not. And you know, there's so much else going on in the world that's disturbing that, yeah, I don't know if fall's gonna be a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to the weather being a little bit cooler and not having to run the air conditioner all the time. And I feel like I sleep better when it's cooler at night, because even though I have air conditioning, I don't know, that my favorite time of the year is actually in between seasons. Like, it's not hot like summer and it's not cold like winter, but even in the fall sometimes you need to run the furnace because it's still kind of cold. But I like that sweet spot in the middle where you don't have to run the furnace or the air conditioner and it's just the right temperature. It doesn't last very long. It lasts for like maybe 2 weeks. And then you go from using the air conditioner to the furnace. But yeah, I love that in-between weather. Okay, so if you saw my Profusion Feel Good Skin website, if you saw my Profusion Feel Good Skin video, then you know what's coming. So I picked up this new foundation by Profusion. Kind of a pain in the neck to have to mix 2 shades, but like I was saying in that video, I think the color that I've gotten this summer, when that fades, I'll only have to use the lighter of the 2 that I bought. But for now, we're going to mix a little bit of Fair 3 and Light 3. The number 3 shades are the cool ones, and in fair and light anyway, number 1 are the warm shades. But then the numbers start to change when you go darker, because I was watching a video by somebody that I'm subscribed to, and she was mixing one of the neutral shades with something, and she said neutral number 1. So make sure that you look on the back of the bottle. On the back of the bottle, it tells you. It says, like, you probably can't read that too well, but it says light 3, but then underneath that it says cool pink. So they give you, you know, a nice description there if you're trying to figure out what shade to buy. So you can only get this at Walmart and Profusion's website, as far as I know. I don't think I mentioned in the video, it has a little bit of a scent to it, but it's a pleasant scent, so I don't mind it if it's a pleasant scent. And it's not, it smells pretty, but it's not like overpowering. And then of course it's just going to go away after a few minutes. So those 2 little dots I did, that does half my face. I'm not being as careful either as I was in the foundation video with how much I'm putting on my brush, so I may not get as good of a color this time because I'm going half and half, and I can't do that because it's going to end up being a little bit too dark because I'm doing that and I'm just not being careful. Also, I think I might have just put too much on my brush, and this foundation is really concentrated. You don't need a lot at all. So I'm just trying to blend what was there before and add to the side. Yeah, I think I might have used a little too much. I hope it's not going to look cakey because that would not be good. All right, so next we're going to do concealer. I really like the ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. My shade is 33C. C stands for cool. So yeah, fall is coming soon. Sometimes my birthday falls on the first day of fall, but this year I think it's fall. I think the first day of fall this year is the day before my birthday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to fall. That's probably one of the reasons why I like fall so much, because it's my birthday, although this is going to be a decade birthday. Those are rough from a psychological standpoint. Because once you enter that next decade, you just feel, even though you're just 1 year older, you feel so much older. But I think, you know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think that I look good for my age. Because if I compare myself to other women that I know that are my age, I feel like I look younger than them. So I must be doing something right. Because in another, let's see, another week or so, a week and a half, in another week and a half, I am going to be 60. So I think I look pretty good for 60. I'm not quite there yet, but another week and a half I will be. Most people that I know tell me I look about 10 years younger than I really am. So that's good. All right, we are going to set those liquids with Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, and this is the shade Fair. With products, and when I'm choosing shades, I either go fair or light. It just depends. With this powder, I had bought the light and it was way too dark. The fair is almost like a translucent, honestly. So I feel like a lot of people could use the shade Fair, whether they were fair or not. Okay, so I'm using this brush these days. This is just a Morphe brush that I got in the face kit, with the one with the gold package. And I'm just like lightly pressing that. I don't know. I feel like with this method of application, as long as you tap off your brush, I feel like you get the perfect amount of powder. If I use a big brush, I tend to use too much powder. And you're supposed to, you know, according to professional makeup artists, you're supposed to press the powder into your skin rather than dust it or swirl your brush or anything. It's going to give you the best finish. Okay, done. Yeah, this powder goes nice with that Profusion foundation. Like I was been saying in my videos lately, you can't just put like any powder with any foundation. It's trial and error. You have to see which formulas go better because yeah, all powders are not created equal. I have I don't know, like maybe 5 powders and they're all so different from each other. Okay, so what is next? Contour. NYX Wonder Stick in light/medium. I only use the contour side on this because the highlighter is like a yellow cream, which is not pretty. Not on me anyway. Okay, so I just draw the stripe and then I'm just gonna go one direction, up and out. This is why I love cream contours, because I don't know, powder contours, they're not so easy to blend, and I don't know. I just really like cream contours. I think if I had oily skin though, I probably wouldn't like them. But my skin is normal to dry, I would say. Okay, for blush today, we're going to use the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo in Guava. I'm going to use the blush, but I'm not going to use that highlighter. That highlighter is way too dark for me. But I like to do my makeup according to what I have on for a top. And I have on a peach colored top today because the next video that I'm going to film, hopefully, I don't know how bad this storm's going to be or if we're going to lose power or whatever, but hopefully after this video I'm going to do another Rainbow High doll, and I was going to do Poppy next, and her color is orange. I don't have any orange tops, so hopefully peach is close enough. Okay. Blush, blush, blush. I need to get a blush brush. I don't seem to have one in front of me. When it comes to brushes, use the brush that works best for you. Don't go by what the brush is sold for, because you're going to find that things don't always work the same on everybody. Like, for example, I did my contour with the same brush that I used for my foundation. That's what works for me. And then this brush is probably supposed to be for blush, and I used it for powder. Now I'm going to use a contour brush for my blush. This is a Real Techniques contour brush. So yeah, use what works good for you. So this is the shade Guava, like I said. So I'm just going to tap my brush into that. And I like to start about halfway back and then go up and out. I don't like a lot of blush. I just like a little bit of color. I don't like anything to look too crazy because I tend to go heavy with my eyeshadow. So if you have a lot of eyeshadow, a lot of blush, a bright lipstick, you know, you're heading into clown territory. So I don't want to do that. So this will give me some balance. So I just have a little bit of that Guava shade. Okay, for highlighter, I'm going to use the same highlighter that I've been using since I bought it. And you might think, oh, that doesn't go with your look. What am I talking about? MAC Cosmetics Iridescent Powder in Silver Dusk. It does go with this look. It goes with every look because it isn't silver. That was just a bad idea on their part to call it Silver Dusk because it's not silver. It's actually a beige. I use the Real Techniques small fan brush and then just pick up some product in there, tap off the excess, and then just go right across the top of my cheekbones. So yeah, this is actually a beige. It's not silver. So it goes with everything. So I'm just going to dust a little bit of that. And again, I don't like to go crazy with my highlighter. So you can see the way the light is catching it. So it's kind of subtle. And I think that is it for face products. Nope, bronzer. Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. This is a really nice bronzer, and I can't believe I waited so long to get it because it's been out for a while. And I kept hearing people rave about it, but I don't really buy bronzers a lot because I don't always use it. I go through phases with it. Okay, so we're going to use the brush that I used for my powder with this. Just tap my brush in there and do the circumference of my hairline. And then just go right around the perimeter of my face and then under my jawline. Alright, so face products are done. Alright, next I'm going to use my Profusion Cosmetics No Budge eyeshadow primer. I don't know if I said it in my video the other day. Probably forgot. But a little bit goes a long way with this, you guys. It is so super concentrated. If you put like a normal amount of eyeshadow primer on your finger or brush to distribute this, it's going to be too much. And then you're going to end up with a big goopy mess. So just do a little dot like that for both eyes. That's all you need. It's so concentrated. And it's got a little bit of a beige color to it, but not much. So you're not going to get a ton of coverage in terms of veining and discoloration, which is why you might have noticed that when I did my foundation, I did put some in this area too, because just the eyeshadow primer probably wouldn't be enough. Can you guess what palette I'm going to use? This is so huge that I can't even imagine how many looks you could... This could be like a standalone palette for somebody. This could be all you need. So because I have on a peach top and I used peach blush, we are going to do something that involves this orange. Are there any peaches in here? There is a rose gold, which is... Rose gold is kind of like a peach color, right? I have respected the fact that this palette is so heavy. Because if you saw my other video, you know I was telling you that I dropped it on my foot, and my poor foot is still trying to recover from that. Okay, so I've got some AOA Studio brushes from the Paw Paw charity thing in front of me. These are so nice, you guys. I can't believe how nice they are for what I paid for them. That's from the Shop Say website. Okay, I'm going to grab the E130 brush, which looks like that. Whoa! I've been dropping so many things lately, it's terrible. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of these orange shades. Now there's two oranges. There's like this cantaloupe type orange, and then there's this deeper type orange. The cantaloupe type one is called Beet. The deeper one is called Fuego. This is the one that's rose gold. It's called Echoes. So which one would look nicer with Echoes? I'm gonna say Fuego. I think that Beet, which is the cantaloupe one, yeah, that wouldn't really look as good. So I think the deeper orange one would look better. So let's start with Fuego then. I'm just gonna tap my brush into it, and this is one of the pressed pigments. So I'm gonna tap my brush off and make a big mess on the palette. Okay, so this is a pressed pigment. It's going to be super pigmented. We're going to start by just tapping in the outer crease area like that. Then we're going to do small circles moving inward. And then I'm going to go on the outside part of my lid. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And because this is one of the metallics in the palette, this is most likely going to be a cream formula, because so far I've noticed that all the metallic shades in here, not these are pressed glitters, all the metallic shades in here are creams. So I'm going to use my finger because that's the best method of application with a cream eyeshadow. So yes, it feels very creamy. And I'm just going to tap that on my lid. One good thing about using your finger is you can get right in all those little cracks and crevices. And when you're going to turn 60 on your next birthday, you have a lot of cracks and crevices. Okay. All right. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look for a transition shade. I'm going to pick up the E28 brush. So we're going to go in with a clean brush. And I would say Comfy is probably the closest thing we have in this palette for a transition shade for me. So I'm going to, and that is a pressed pigment. But this is a pretty light shade, so. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this as a transition shade to sort of buff out the edge of what we laid down for that crease shade. Just to kind of blur out any harsh edge that we had. Oh, that worked nicely. Yep, that's my transition shade for this palette, for sure. Okay, now we're gonna need something to darken up. Actually, why don't we do the lower lash line next? Yeah, because sometimes I like to do the lower lash line in the same shade that I used in the crease, and I think I'm gonna do that today. This is a Zoeva small pencil brush. So I'm going to pick up some more of that Fuego. And I'm just going to do that right along the lower lash line. And it's going to look like a different color because it's on the lower lash line. So it's like more concentrated. Okay, now we can look for an outer corner color. So, let's see. I really like this Changes color. That is so pretty. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is... this is an E126 brush. And I'm just going to tap my brush in that lightly. And then we're going to just go right in that outer corner and drag it down a little bit onto the outer portion of the eyelid. And then just take it back just a little bit so that we have a bit of like a fade. Okay. I'm going to do the other eye off camera with everything I just did to save some time. Okay, so I just did the same thing on the other eye. By the way, I don't know if I said it in that video where I talked about this palette, but the reason why you need to save this clear cover is so that all the glitters don't get in your cream eyeshadows. The glitters from the pressed pigments, you don't want those to get in the metallic shades. That could, or worse, in the matte shades. Alright, so we're done with this. Now we're going to need an eyeliner. And let's see. I have two brown eyeliners. One is cool, one is warm. So we're going to obviously use the warm one. And this is Maybelline Tattoo Studio in Smooth Walnut. I'm glad they came out with a warm brown too, because if you put a cool brown eyeliner on a warm eye look, it can look really strange. So we're just going to use this. I need to sharpen this. This is why people like retractable eyeliners, so that they don't have to sharpen them, because it is a pain, but for sanitary reasons, you're actually better off with an eyeliner that you sharpen. All right. Smooth walnut. Yeah, that's a good color. Okay, next I'm going to curl my lashes. And next is Milani, the violet one, lash primer. This is my second tube of this. I'm using the backup now that I bought. And I had just gotten it like to the point that I wanted it, where I got just the right amount of product on the brush when I pulled the wand out. And now I'm starting all over again with a new tube. Because when you first get this, it deposits a lot of product onto the brush. And so, yeah, it was just perfect, and then it was time to throw it out. Because I'm like a stickler for how long I keep things. Whatever the company recommends, that's how long I keep it, because it just isn't worth risking like an eye infection or whatever. Okay, I just picked this up again. I couldn't remember what I thought about it before I had it. This is the Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I had a gift card that someone had given me. So I used the gift card, and then I only had to spend $1 and change to get this. So I was like, yeah, I think I'll give this a try again. Oh no, I started with my top lash. I have to start with my bottom lash normally, because otherwise I get transfer. So I have to be very careful. Yeah, I do like this. This is a nice mascara. Of course, all mascaras are nice if you use a lash primer. And the Milani one is the best one I've found so far. I've tried maybe 3 or 4 brands of lash primer now, and this one just blows everything else out of the water. Yeah, this is nice. I don't know, when I had this the last time, I don't know if I used it with a lash primer, but it definitely makes a difference. Look at that. Okay, so what's next? Next is my new brow kit that I bought. I love this. Essence, It's All About Brows 4-in-1 palette. This is so nice, you guys. It comes with a little brush and spoolie, which would be great for travel if anybody was traveling these days. So the first thing I do, okay, let me tell you what's in here first. You get this light, like beige brown powder. Then you get this cool medium brown powder. And you get this brow bone highlight shade, and then you get a wax. And this doesn't have like a color name or a number or nothing on it. So I think this is it. This is what There is no choice on the colors. But I don't use this deeper brown shade, and I don't need the wax. I don't use the wax. To me, it just makes a big, I don't know. I don't like the texture of my brows if I put wax in it. So I just use this Brow Bone Highlight shade. Is stunning. I use that for all my eyeshadow looks. It's just like a pearl. Yep, it's just like a pearl. That's the best way to describe it. So put a little bit of that in the inner corners too. And then take out my brow brush and spoolie. And pick up some of that beigey light brown shade and do my brows. Now this takes a while, and I don't think most people find brow application that interesting, so be right back. Okay, so brows are on. All that leaves is lips. I'm going to use two of the products from the e.l.f. Retro Paradise Lip Kit. This, you get 3 nude lip liners. This is the lightest one. So I'm going to line my lips. And fill them in by turning the pencil on its side. And then I'm going to use one of the glosses. Actually, the gloss from that kit was like a gold. So this is one of the glosses that you have to buy separately. This is Tropical Fruit Punch. But it's a peach with some shimmer in it. Thought that would go nice with this look. Has a doe foot applicator. These smell like tropical. That's the best way to describe it. Pineapple, maybe? Don't know if these are still available on e.l.f.'s website, or I've still seen a few products in Targets. Okay, so that is my peach orange look from the Profusion Kaleidoscope palette. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And Storm still hasn't arrived yet, so maybe that will be happening while I'm doing my Poppy Rowan Rainbow High video. I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.